What do you imagine musical instruments from the past look like? And what materials do you think people use to make them? Hi, I'm Dr. Smiti Nathan, and I'm an archaeologist. In this video, we're going to look at a musical instrument from Southern Africa that might not look like musical instruments that you're familiar with. It's also archaeologically remarkable for a number of reasons. This is the Sofala trumpet. Like present-day trumpets we might see in an orchestra, it's an aerophone, which means that the sound is produced by vibrating air from within the instrument. This artifact is 48.3 centimeters long, and it was excavated at the Portuguese trading port of Sofala on the coast of Mozambique. The exact date of the trumpet is unknown, but some scholars think that it could date to after the annexation of Sofala by the Portuguese in 1505 CE. According to music archaeologist Dr. Joshua Kumbani, trumpets are not common in the Southern African archaeological record. So the Sofala trumpet's existence is pretty significant already. But there are other reasons why this find is archaeologically remarkable. One reason has to do with what it's made out of. Southern African music-related or sound-producing artifacts are generally made from materials like bone, metal, and clay. The Sofala trumpet is made from ivory, which is an uncommon material for Southern African trumpets. So let's take a closer look at how this trumpet was constructed. The elephant tusk used to make the instrument was scraped and carved to form the trumpet's narrow body. On one end of the trumpet, we see a collar decorated with a carved figurine head. Next to it, there are 4 carved bands of ivory that bend to meet together and form a hollow. We then have a circular mouthpiece located on one side of the trumpet. There are also visible engraved circle dots that appear to decorate part of the trumpet. There are also 6 rivet holes near the mouthpiece, as well as additional metal residues. These metallic remnants prompted scholars Fagan and Kirkman to suggest that the trumpet might have originally been sheathed with a metal case. Sound-producing artifacts made of organic materials like ivory don't preserve well in the Southern African archaeological record, which is another reason why this find is so remarkable. When it was first discovered, the Sofala trumpet was in a very fragmentary condition and needed to be reassembled. After being donated to the University of Pretoria Museum in 2008, the trumpet was conserved in a complicated and time-consuming process. First, it was soaked in fresh water for several weeks in order to leach salt from it. Next, fungus was removed from the fragments by washing the pieces in diluted carbolic acid, and then fresh water to remove the acid. To then remove the water from the object, it was treated in successive alcohol baths. The baths started with a low concentration and then progressed to a pure alcohol solution. Afterwards, it was subjected to 4 successive baths of glyptyl cement mixed with amyl acetate in a vacuum chamber until no bubbles could be seen coming from the ivory. Finally, the surface of the fragments was washed in amyl acetate, dried, and then reassembled. The Sofala trumpet is one of the few archaeological examples we have of musical instruments from Southern Africa. As we mentioned before, ivory trumpets are not common in Southern Africa. However, we do find them elsewhere on the African continent, including West Africa and the East African coast. A ntaha is an ivory trumpet ensemble and is associated with the Ghanaian royal court. Similar instruments are found in Central Africa, Congo-Kinshasa, and along the East African coast. For example, a umbu, referring to a proclamation horn in this instance, was used by the Swahili to announce the arrival of an important person. While we're not sure the exact use of the Sofala trumpet, music archaeologist Dr. Joshua Kumbani has some ideas. In Southern Africa, horn trumpets may have been used for signaling. An example of this comes from the Venda, who used them to summon people to come to the chief's place. Horn trumpets were also most likely used for musical purposes, like accompanying dances, or more recently, in churches. Even though we're not sure of the exact use of the Sofala trumpet, it is archaeologically remarkable for its rarity and the fact that we were able to preserve it. This video is part of our Artifact of the Day series, where we take a quick look at one intriguing object from the past. If you're interested in watching another Artifact of the Day video, check out the video here.